Welcome into the Jordy Culotta Show. Wave your hand out there, baby!
Shout out to the show.
She puts the pinky into the nostril. Man, look at that.
Healthy competition, there's nothing like it.
Y'all grow up.
The line's wrapped around the stadium.
Different strengths. I just lost a tooth.
It's going to be fun.
You know, we might have a story.
I love what you're doing.
Ogeron wants to take us fishing this afternoon.
Sharif, you play for the bad boys of the SEC, man. We don't apologize to anybody.
A lot of people are saying you're going to be wearing number 7.
I don't really know. I want to.
He look crazy, Bill. Good feet on the old man.
Definitely come back.
We'll be right back with the Jordy Culotta Show. Welcome into a Thursday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet, live here on this Thursday. If you don't mind hitting that like button, share button, comment button. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're listening on our podcast, we appreciate you being there. If you have not subscribed to the podcast, anywhere you get your podcast from, make sure and subscribe to the Jordy Culotta Show and all of the outlets over here at FM Digital Media. Remember, daily over here on the Jordy Culotta Show, we're brought to you by Go Chevrolet. Our friends are online at GEAUXChevrolet.com. You can find Lee Carney, Nick Richard, and their dealership down in LaPlace, Louisiana. Great selection of trucks online if you want to get into a brand new one, or if you're looking for a used car truck, they can help you out as well. Online, GEAUXChevrolet.com. Our phone line daily brought to you by Metropolitan Health Group. We'll go down to New Orleans and check in with Fletcher Mackel in an hour. We'll see what's going on. It looks like this David Carr thing. It's like trending in the right direction here for Katie. So we're going to talk to Mackel about what is the latest with the Saints. Saints also signed and added Todd Grantham, former Florida defensive coordinator, to their staff last week. We'll talk to Mackel about the addition coming up at 8 a.m. this morning. Pelicans also in action tonight as the Pellies, they have, I was just looking at this. Cleveland. Cleveland is in New Orleans tonight for a 9 o'clock tip. It's going to be on ESPN. So, as we said, hit that like button, share button, comment button as we get going here. We'll talk about a lot of stuff coming up over the next couple of hours. As we said, Katie will be here in the second hour. LSU football had 9 players invited to the NFL Combine. We'll talk about all of those guys coming up here. We also have a mock draft put out on 3 of some of the LSU guys falling in some specific spots. So we'll talk about who may get their name called pretty early in the draft. We'll look at some prop bets for the Super Bowl about that time as we're closing in on Super Bowl weekend as the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs get set to go on Sunday afternoon. And, of course, a little bit of a pregame to the big game on Sunday will be LSU and South Carolina, as South Carolina, the number 1 overall team in women's college basketball, taking on the number 2 and 3 ranked team, LSU, respective to what polls you're looking at. But 2 top 3 teams squaring off Sunday afternoon in South Carolina in women's college basketball, with LSU right there at the center of it. LSU men's basketball last night was over in Starkville, and they were beaten. They got beat 64-53. And another career game for an opponent. DJ Jeffries hit a career-high 5 3-pointers last night. He also finished with his season-high 18 points. For LSU, KJ Williams led with 11 points. Derek Fountain added 10, but they just couldn't get anything going on offense. They're tough to watch offensively. Obviously, the 53 points spells that out. But, like we said, I hate to get into the motion of doing the same show after every LSU basketball game. But if you can't score, you can't win. And, it's last night, Mississippi State got to the 64-point mark and beat LSU by 11. Yeah, I mean, that's even, the winning team is not being able to score with an efficient rate. So to show and to kind of see where you are after, after 11 conference games, and it's really tough for you to score. It's a tough formula, man. It's not going to work out. 64-53 last night was the final. LSU falls to 1-10 in conference play. They are losers of 11 straight games. They are losers of 10 straight conference games. It's bad. It's bad, man. There's really no way to spin it that they're in a good spot. And we talked about it, I believe, last week after the Texas Tech loss. Morality on a team that is struggling is really a major concern. And I don't see signs or anything of give up or quit. It's just, when things are as bad as they feel right now for LSU, it just puts it in a really tough spot. And, it kind of feels like it's in a tailspin. But I think at this point, LSU is just kind of looking for the finish line as they have sunk to the bottom dweller of the conference. So we will see. They're back in action on next week. Let me get their schedule for you, make sure I don't give you any wrong information here. But they're going to be at Texas A&M this weekend. Be at Texas A&M this weekend. Texas A&M is at LSU. Texas A&M is at LSU, 7 o'clock Saturday night. So it's going to be that'll be another tough one as Texas A&M. Look, they're by no means looking to win the league this year, but they're playing better basketball than LSU is right now. Everybody seems to be, but A&M and the Aggies will be here on Saturday night. LSU basketball falls to 500 on the season at 12-12, and I think Jacques brought something up yesterday that's probably a good goal to have coming down to the end here, and that would be to hopefully finish at 500. You got Texas A&M on Saturday. You travel to Georgia on next week for your midweek game. South Carolina comes in town, who's not good. Vanderbilt had a game-winning shot last night versus Tennessee. Did you see the end of that Tennessee game?
No, I did not.
Crazy.
I think I saw it on Twitter, but I didn't
Tennessee was up 2 with 20 seconds left. They're dribbling the ball out. Vanderbilt only at that point has 2 team fouls.
Fouls to give, coach.
So they got 20 seconds left in the game, and they got to get 5 fouls before they can get Tennessee on the line. So they get it down to 8 seconds left. Tennessee does. Put somebody on the free throw line. They miss the shot. Vanderbilt gets the rebound, dribbles it up into the front court, calls timeout. 4 seconds left in the game. Jerry Stackhouse draws up just this beautiful play where the ball goes in at the top of the key, and they run like a ball screen at the top. Point guard gets into the lane. Defense sucks up, throws the ball into the corner for a corner 3. Guy shoots it with 0.6 seconds left on the clock. Doesn't even hit the rim. Just splashes it home. I was listening to it on the radio in the car. I was coming home from dinner, and I just had it on Sirius XM 84. And it was playing that game live, and Tennessee's broadcast team was calling it, and they couldn't see the play because all those people were standing in front of them, and the ball got into the corner, and they couldn't see the corner of the floor. So the guy was freaking out, confused, didn't know what happened, but then obviously the crowd goes crazy, and Vanderbilt storms pretty much in front of Media Row. You could hear the team celebrating through their microphones. Yeah. But it was big win for Vanderbilt because Tennessee was playing very well. But Vanderbilt will be a part of the end of the season action. Ole Miss, Missouri, and Florida will finish it out for LSU. It'll be a tough race to get to 500 for the Tigers, but that is a goal that seemingly they could place and hopefully try to attain at this point because it's about the small victories right now for LSU basketball.
It was the Dunham kid on the inbound pass.
Oh, absolutely. Now, Dunham kid's one of their best players. Jordan, he was in
Jordan Wright.
Jordan Wright graduated with Stingley.
Mm-hmm. People don't understand how big the inbound there is on like those type of plays.
That's what we were talking about with Fletcher.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like that's a big responsibility. People just for about 37 minutes of a 40-minute basketball game, it goes unnoticed.
Yeah.
But there's a couple of possessions where that's the biggest responsibility in the gym. Just get the ball in bounds. So LSU men's basketball falls again last night, man, and struggles in the same categories that they've been struggling in through this losing skid, and hopefully they can find a way out of it here pretty soon with Texas A&M in town on Saturday night. Like we said, that'll be a 7 o'clock tip-off over at the Maravich Center as LSU will be hosting Texas A&M. And some other news yesterday, as we said, around basketball, and this is a national story here. We won't spend a lot of time on it, but this is a headline story. Kevin Durant's been dealt to the Phoenix Suns in a blockbuster deal in the NBA. Durant was traded from the Brooklyn Nets to the Phoenix Suns for a package that includes Mackel Bridges from Phoenix, Cam Johnson, and Jay Crowder, and 4 unprotected future first-round picks, according to Woj and ESPN. Durant and T.J. Warren were sent to Phoenix, so I guess Brooklyn is out of the star chasing.
Yes.
They are now,
as they should be,
trying to build this thing honestly. I tell you, they've got a true talent in Cam Thomas. I think everybody sees that around the league right now, in the way that he can, he is a professional scorer, and he can get his every single night as he is on a tear right now with 3 straight games of 40-plus points in the NBA is just an incredible. That's incredible to say out loud. He's the youngest player in NBA history to ever do that. But after dealing Kyrie Irving earlier this week to Dallas, Brooklyn has now dealt their other superstar in Kevin Durant to the Phoenix Suns. Durant goes back to the West, where he has spent the majority of his career at Oklahoma City and Golden State. Spent a couple of years in Brooklyn on the Eastern Division side, but now back in the West with Phoenix. And this feels like a move that could get Phoenix over the top.
Yeah. And I mean, how late was the GM up?
Oh,
because this happened at like 1 a.m.
You stay up as late as you have to get this deal done. Phoenix is under new ownership, and this is a deal that Phoenix has been one of those teams, obviously, that has been close over the last couple of years, making it to the finals and to the Western Conference Finals in successive seasons. I mean, obviously, they're knocking on the doorstep. And to be able to keep Chris Paul, to be able to keep DeAndre Ayton, to be able to keep Devin Booker all intact and add KD to the mix. I mean, the West is wide open.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, the West, like the Lakers feel dangerous at 13, like out of the playoff race with getting Anthony Davis back and the way that LeBron's playing. They're not an easy out by any means. I mean, the Pelicans have slid, but Brandon Ingram's starting to catch his feet again. Zion's going to get back here at some point.
They got their All-Star break.
Yeah, you put those guys back on the floor, and the Pelicans become a very tough out. Obviously, Golden State's trying to work it out and get things together, but anytime they have their big 3 on the floor, big 4 now with Jordan Poole, I mean, it's somebody going to have to take serious. So, I mean, the West is going to be very interesting in the second half of the season of how it shakes out. It's going to be really, really good competition. I think it's more obvious. It's more obvious on the Eastern Division side with Boston and Milwaukee and teams like that. Boston's probably the best team in the league.
Yeah.
But not best enough to not square off with one of these Western Division teams in a 7-game series, and adding Kevin Durant to the Phoenix Suns and just what he can do. that field, my first reaction when I first saw it was that could put Phoenix over the top.
Yeah.
That could be the move that gets the ring.
People are mad at KD, but it's not KD's fault. They wanted
KD, what do you mean?
Like, people are saying, like, basically they're saying he's star chasing still. But it's like, Phoenix acquired him. Like, I can't do nothing.
Great move for Phoenix.
Right. They want me. I'm going to go. Like,
he's not a free agent.
No. It's just,
you know what I mean? Like, you think Kyrie wanted to go to Dallas? I mean,
No.
like, he was begging to go to L.A. You know what I mean? Like, that owner was like, send him anywhere but the Lakers.
You know what? Send him to Dallas.
Go camp him out in Toronto. Even though I'd love to be in Toronto.
I mean, me too.
I would love to be a professional athlete in Toronto. All right, remember, daily we are brought to you by Katie's Restaurant, our friends over at Katie's Restaurant down in New Orleans. They're on Iberville Street. A great spot, man. We tell you about it all the time. You got to get down there and check it out. It is a neighborhood dive and bar that you can go get great menu selections, cold beer, good conversation, and you get the feel and the taste of the neighborhood down in New Orleans. So stop in and see them. Katie'sInMidCity.com, Katie'sInMidCity.com. Katie's Restaurant, been around since 1984. They have a sister restaurant in Midtown as well, in Francesca's sandwich deli shop. So stop in and see them, and make sure you tell them that you heard it right here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Scott Craig is a great friend of ours, a great supporter of what we do. We always appreciate Craig and his crew down in New Orleans at Katie's. And we've been talking about it. We need to take a field trip, man. We need to get down there as a crew and come see, experience the vibe. So appreciate Scott Craig as always. But if you're in New Orleans and you're looking for a great meal and a great selection, stop in at Katie's Restaurant and tell them that you heard it right here on the show. Katie'sInMidCity.com. Katie'sInMidCity.com. NFL Combine coming up, and LSU got some big news yesterday, or at least got the news of the roster that would be taking place at the Combine, and LSU's sending a star-studded cast up to Indianapolis to take place in the 2023 Combine. That'll be at the end of February 28th through March 6th, and LSU is sending linebacker Micah Baskerville, defensive back Mekhi Garner, Ali Gay, B.J. Ojolari, Jaquelin Roy from the defensive line, Jay Ward from the defensive backfield, Kayshawn Boutte, Jeray Jenkins, and Anthony Bradford are all going to take part in the drills at the NFL Combine coming up before the draft in 2023. That will come up in April. B.J. Ojolari feels like he's going to be the first guy that comes off the board for LSU. Mm-hmm. Kayshawn could make a move here. I think Kayshawn is the one that stands to make the biggest jump. But when you look at some of the guys that are on the board and some of the guys that will have a chance to work out, I think Kayshawn has the chance to make the biggest jump. Obviously, he is someone that was projected as a first-round pick after his sophomore season. At spurts during his sophomore year, he might have been the best player in college football. I mean, he was on a tear his sophomore season when he was healthy. That was just, it was eye-opening to see how easy he was scoring when he would catch the football. And then when year 3, coming off of 2 surgeries in the offseason and going into a new offense, it took time to find his way, but still, I believe that last play that you see from Kayshawn that he makes as a junior is kind of the part where you're like, whoa, that's the intriguing part, where he catches a crossing route against the national champs very early in the SEC championship game versus Georgia, and he runs away from everybody. He makes one move, gets into the open, and sprints it to the end zone past the best defensive roster in college football. So I think that Kayshawn could probably work his way in to a first-round pick. Right now, they've got him slotted in a lot of mock drafts that I see as a late first, early second type guy. And I think that he could, with a good workout, and a good pro day performance, depending on how he handles that day. I think it's a prospect. It's someone who could really make a move through this process. Mekhi Gardner, Jaquelin Roy, Anthony Bradford are guys that are mentioned around that third, fourth round pick selection. And I think that's about right for them. I think Gardner's probably a very intriguing prospect for the NFL just because of his size and, you know, his ability to jam at the line of scrimmage because of how long he is. And then, you know, he can run, he can move for how big he is. So, you know, he's almost a prototype of what the majority of NFL defenses are looking for. And then Jaquelin Roy at times during his junior year was projected as like a first-round pick. Going into the season, he was projected as a top 10 pick. So maybe he could be someone else to keep an eye on who could make a major jump. I would also throw Jay Ward into that mix. Now, Ward's a guy that's going to have to put on some weight. I think that the NFL will tell him that he's going to have to get stronger. But when you turn the film on, he plays a lot bigger than he is. I mean, he will come up and pop you, man.
Coach, I was watching the Senior Bowl highlights yesterday, and he was just like, I don't care about my body. I'm coming to knock somebody's head off.
Ward?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
He hit the running back from Northwestern, and that dude got up and he was like, I don't know where you played at. Looks like LSU.
John Emery in the spring game?
Yeah, and I don't want to be nowhere near that.
So, I mean, it was he's another one that I'm anxious to see at the Combine, who if he can make a real big move on, you know, just improving his draft status. It will be interesting to see. I think there's a lot of guys here for LSU that have a chance to make a major move. I would also throw Jeray Jenkins in there. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, Jeray may not be a guy that makes the move and makes the jump from, you know, somebody that's projected to be a late round selection into a first, you know, into a high round selection, but he's going to be a draft day steal, in my opinion, because you get a guy that can do a multiple amounts of things, right? I mean, he can cover kicks, cover punts, he can, you know, play special teams, and he can also be somebody that you can trust within the wide receiver rotation to play some big snaps for you. I mean, he's someone that towards the middle and end of the season and really all throughout the year was the most consistent pass catcher that I thought LSU had. I mean, he was the guy that, you know, he rarely dropped it. He was always in the right place. He always was kind of making a play at a key moment of the game. Just one of those guys, Russell Gage, you know, who's looked up and is now a multi-millionaire because he has found a niche and has just developed into a fantastic NFL option. And I think Jenkins is going to be somebody that could make a big splash as well. Maybe not on draft day, but when he gets to whatever team decides to draft him, I think it'll be very evident very early that they got a steal. And then some guys that their names were not on the list that it'll be interesting to see if they get chances here. I think the most notable would have been Joe Fuchsia, who was not invited to the Combine. I would imagine with his size that he would have been someone that was appealing, just, you know, intriguing, attractive to take a look at. Mike Jones is someone who's going to have to wait for a pro day. Todd Harris, Colby Richardson out of the defensive backfield did not get invited there. Tremont Shorts from the offensive line.
Mike Jones might be the most interesting one on that list.
Yeah, because you know, Jones can do multiple things.
Yeah, and he was like a projected first-round pick before he came to LSU, which is kind of strange because he came to LSU and it was like they couldn't find a place for him on the field.
Yeah.
And when he was on the field, you didn't even know he was there.
We have just confirmed that Beth Torina, softball coach for LSU, will join us at 8:30 this morning. Be good to talk to Coach Torina about her crew. We told you she's got a couple of preseason All-SEC standouts on her squad here going into the year. They're a top 20 team that are going to open up with New Mexico tomorrow at Tiger Park. So we'll talk to Coach Torina coming up here at 8:30 this morning. Like we said, we'll talk to Fletcher Mackel at 8 o'clock for just an update on what's going down in New Orleans with the Saints. What's going on with Mike Thomas? What are they going to do with Thomas? We'll talk to him a little bit about the Pelicans and catch up with Fletch, as it's always good to see and to catch up with one of New Orleans' finest coming up here on the Jordy Culotta Show. We'll be back. We will continue our conversation and get into more of some of this football discussion. Obviously, LSU men's basketball falls last night. We got some Super Bowl prop bets that we'll be getting to coming up here in the second hour today. So make sure to hit that like button, share button, comment button. We'll be right back with more of the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Donaldsonville Glass and Body, the trusted name in frame, body, and automotive paint repair since 1977. They have served their customers for over 45 years. You can find them online at dgbauto.com or stop in and see them Railroad Avenue and Division Street out in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Look, they can help you with your insurance claims. They can make the repair process as stress-free as possible. I'm speaking from experience here. I've got numerous windshields, body repair, all done by Kenny and the crew over at Donaldsonville Glass and Body. They are, without question, the most well-equipped shop in the area. Stop in and see them today. Shop them online, dgbauto.com, or stop in and see the crew over in Division Street in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Donaldsonville Glass and Body. Red Stick Sports, a local staple in Baton Rouge to all sports fans, was founded back in 1981 and has remained a family business for over 40 years. Today, they still have the great selection on the floor, but they're also a leader in custom apparel for businesses, sports teams, and other groups. Take it from us, everybody over here at FM Digital Media. They help us out with all of our apparel. Let them help you out today. Go ask for Cody over at Red Stick Sports. Check him out online at redsticksports.biz. I was embarrassed about my smile. Are you unhappy at yours? Do you not smile back at yourself? I called my friend, Dr. Spillers, over at Johnson Spillers. He fixed my smile, and now everywhere I go, people are complimenting it after the work that Dr. Spillers and the staff did to my mouth. They can do it to yours. Get in touch with them. JohnsonSpillers.com. 2 locations, one in Gonzales, one in Baton Rouge. Easy to find them, JohnsonSpillers.com.
We're all from different places and backgrounds. We've each experienced our own versions of life, but in the end, we're all on the same team. I'm part of that team, along with these players in purple and gold.
Kayshawn Buddha, Malik Neighbors, Miles Frazier,
Kyron Lacy,
Greg Brooks.
Whether on the field or in the courtroom, your team matters.
So join our team.
make a difference.
Bet. Let's get it done.
Are you looking for sound financial advice? Then get in touch with Daniel Newman of Edward Jones. You can call him today at 225-261-8262 or email him daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. If you're planning for retirement, saving for college for children or grandchildren, or just looking for sound investment opportunities, get in touch with Daniel today, 225-261-8262, located on Magnolia Square Drive in Central. Daniel Newman of Edward Jones.
In a wreck, Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys is ready to go to work for you. Come meet your team.
I'm your intake specialist. I coordinate your case and connect you with your attorney and paralegal.
That's us, your legal team.
Here you go.
Thanks. And we'll fight to get you every dollar you deserve.
I'm your settlements and disbursement manager, and I'm here to get you paid on time.
I'm attorney Gordon McKernan. Put our team to work today. Just call us. Get it done.
Hey Baton Rouge, when traveling through Natchez, Mississippi, whether you need to fill up your vehicle or your belly, stop by Go-Mart and On The Go Deli. Go-Mart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you might need on your trip. So stop by Go-Mart at 4 Sergeant Prentice Drive as you're entering Natchez on the left, and visit Tom and Wright Granning and their awesome team at Go-Mart.
All right, speaking of GoMart, our friend over at GoMart, Tom Granning, fresh out of surgery yesterday, seems to be all good. So Tom checked in last night, said he was feeling pretty spry. So good for Tom after a tough day yesterday in the hospital. Continue to think, and if you got a chance, shoot a prayer up for old Tommy as he went through it yesterday, man. One of those medical procedures we all dread and hope we never have to face. But Tom, I'm sure, handling it like a champ and with good spirits and smiles. So continue to think about you, buddy. Get healthy, get well, and if you're on 61, Highway 61, and you're driving through Natchez today, make sure and stop at GoMart and tell our friends over there in Natchez, Mississippi that you heard it here on the Jordy Culotta Show. And fellas, we've been reminding you, we are less than a week away from Valentine's Day, and our friends over at Billy Harriman's are taking care of us. Remember, it is easy to get in touch with Billy Harriman's. Just use the phone number, 272-ROSE. That is 272-ROSE. If you want to get in touch with any of the 3 locations, and remember, 3 locations to serve you. 1946 Perkins Road, which is over in the Garden District here in South Baton Rouge. They've got another one on Perkins Road out by Seagan and Pico, and then on North Harrells Ferry Road off of Old Hammond Highway between Airline and Sherwood. Mention the show, you get a free box of chocolates. Somebody went in there yesterday and dropped the show's name for the free box of chocolates, which we very much appreciate. That means a lot to us. Remember that this is Billy Harriman's for your Valentine's Day needs. 272-ROSE is the phone number, or 272-7673. If you're out of the area here and you want to get in touch with them, that's a 225 area code, 225-272. 7673. Get over to the Garden District store to pick it up here right around the corner from us over at FM Digital Media. But our friends over at Billy Harriman's helping you out this Valentine's Day. Do not procrastinate, fellas. 225-272-7673. That's 272-ROSE. If you want to get to the website, it's 272-rose.com. 272-rose.com. Mention the Culotta Show and save yourself or get a free box of chocolates for whatever you purchase for that loved one in your life coming up on Valentine's Day, which is Tuesday. Don't forget about it, man. Right in the middle of the week, so don't let it sneak up on you. We're reminding you every day here over at FM Digital Media. I know my guy Nick Diaz in the afternoons for Out of My League is a part of the promotion as well. So make sure that you're taking advantage of Billy Harriman's special Valentine's Day offer, that if you mention the Out of My League or the Culotta Show, that you can get a free box of chocolates for whatever you pick up for your loved one coming up on Valentine's Day. Billy Harriman's Flowers and Gifts, 3 locations in the Baton Rouge area and online at 272-rose.com. 272-rose.com for Billy Harriman's. One thing I wanted to promote real quick before we move on is a special project that we've been working on over here at FM, and it's been more on the agency side. And look, these conversations that we've had, it's been 2 years, over 2 years since we broke off and kind of doing our own thing independently here for FM, digital media, and then on the other side, we also kind of formed we formed a company that's dealing with some digital media marketing help, almost like some agency help, right? For the first year that we were doing this podcasting and we were selling it and we were out, kind of trying to find the lifeblood of survival in this game, we were able to build the network, right? And get supporters for the Culotta Show, get supporters for Mic'd Up, find more shows like Hold the Rope that has come through here, Out of My League with Nick Diaz, all properties that we can sell advertising on, right? Which is the lifeblood of media, is ad sales. Things like that Billy Harriman logo that you see in the top right of your screen, right? That's a paid ad from Billy Harriman's that keeps the lights on over here and keeps this place moving. Well, a lot of those conversations that we were having in selling podcasting really turned into, can can you help us with our digital marketing overall? Or do you have anybody that can help us with digital marketing overall? And I do. I mean, in this business for as long as I've been in it, you've been able to build up a network of friends and very talented people that do different things within the business that I've got great access to. So those conversations about 6 months ago kind of switched into helping people with their digital marketing strategy. And we've got a couple of clients right now that we're really proud of the work that we have going on. We worked with RMB Builders. We're continuing to work with Rhett Bourgeois and RMB. That's our team that is managing his social media. We've done some stuff for Mike Anderson Seafood and updating their website. And we've got a documentary coming out on Mike Anderson that we're going to have a launch and a debut for in a couple of weeks. We just went into post-production for the documentary, and I showed it to Mike Jr. and Chip Robert. Chip runs Mike Anderson Seafood out in Gonzales. Mike Anderson Jr. runs Mike Seafood right off of Lee Drive, the one that's been here for forever. And in some of those conversations that we were having with Mike Anderson's about just kind of updating their website and bringing some of the images that they have going on over there to life, was that Mike Anderson is not senior, is not as involved in the restaurant as he once was. So a lot of the people that they hire now really don't know who Mike Anderson is. They don't know his story. They don't know where he came from. They don't know that he played at LSU. They don't know that he's from Baton Rouge and went to Lehigh and was, just really kind of this name and this guy that really dominated Baton Rouge sports and business for nearly 50 years right here in South Louisiana. And they wanted to bring that story to light and to bring it to people, to let people see that. They want to, play it in the restaurant. They want to have, be able to put it on the website. So, people that may not understand the history and the man can get a sense of who he is. And we've got a couple of additions to make to the documentary. So I believe the launch could probably happen within the next 3 weeks to definitely 1 month. And we're going to do a special launch probably right here on the Jordy Culotta Show YouTube channel. And I'm going to bring Chip and Mike Jr. in, and we'll tell some stories about building the documentary and, some of the things that we had to have come to, through the storytelling of the restaurant and the man, Mike Anderson's. But really looking forward for everybody getting a chance to see that. And also wanted to let you know out there that if you do own a business, or if you're a decision maker, or if you're somewhere where you recognize needs some digital marketing help, right? Whether it be social media management, whether it be updating your website, or even more, kind of more pointed things like search engine optimization and SRM and things like this that go into marketing your business or whatever you're trying to promote from a digital standpoint, because we all live on our phone, right? I mean, we're all scrolling through our phone all day. So advertisers have found that's the best way to reach them, through either social media or, just being able to pay for an ad and, get on their Facebook page or get on their timeline or get on their scroll, whatever websites that they're visiting. All of that stuff. We've got a great team of people over here that are really dialed in and focused on getting that done for businesses. But I just wanted to tell the story about Mike Anderson that is going to come to light here over the next 3 weeks, that we're really proud about, that it's going to be cool to see what people think about a true Baton Rouge legend, man. It was cool. Randy Lanois, Mike Anderson's first restaurant was Highland Road in an old grocery store. That's right. We tell the story about how that happened, how he got that building, and what went into figuring out that he was going to do this for 50 years. That restaurant is going to turn 50 years old coming up in 2025 as it opened its doors in that grocery store that you're talking about, Randy, in 1975. It's going to be cool to see what people think. Joseph Fine said, "What's the best po' boy in Baton Rouge, in y'all's opinion?" We going seafood po' boy? I guess any po' boy. I think that the roast beef po' boy at Pastime Pizza is fantastic. I think that the fresh seafood po' boys at George's were always fantastic. At least growing up, I would always get the shrimp po' boy at George's. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think of more po' boy options. I mean, they have to have some. Anthony's Italian Deli have great sandwiches and po' boys that you can pick up. I know my wife Kelly loves Anthony's Italian Deli for just a sandwich. It's a great place to get a po' boy.
Rolls has a pretty good one.
Do they have po' boys?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
They have shrimp po' boys and
okay.
Catfish po' boys.
But they just did burgers.
They got all kind of stuff there now,
really?
Coach. Yeah. Menus expanded.
I'm sure I'm leaving some spots out, but those are just kind of some of the ones that popped to mind for me. Rocco's Italian Deli. I ate lunch at Rocco's yesterday. I got the Crescent City Special. Po' boy.
Gotta have it.
No mayo, sauce on the side. But yeah, Rocco's for sure. The Shed is now open in Baton Rouge. I'm trying to think. Best po' boy in Baton Rouge.
It's tough.
Yeah, it's tough. It's a good debate. We talked a little bit about Will Wade yesterday, and it's a soundbite that obviously has caught a lot of reaction as we were coming back in from the break yesterday, and not reporting it officially because there's still some things that have to be ruled upon, but everything that I am being told from multiple people that are close to the situation is that Will Wade is having his hearing right now, presently as we speak, with the NCAA that started on Monday and is supposed to wrap today. They were over in Dallas for the week, and from what I have been told and from what the feedback that has been given to people that are around that situation is that both Wade and LSU basketball are trending in a direction where they're going to be cleared with no penalty from the fallout of the basketball program over the last 5 years, really. And that is going to be interesting to see what happens after that is ruled upon. Because I will tell you this, that I got a call yesterday from someone who I trust very well and is very well connected at Ole Miss. And he asked me directly if what I was saying on the show was something that I had heard from a good source, which I confirmed to him because he had been told the same thing from someone that he had close to the situation with Wade. And this person that I was speaking with is very well connected to the Board of Supervisors at Ole Miss. And one thing that is really clear is that if Will Wade is, in fact, ruled with no penalty or no consequence, no show calls, and is free to coach again immediately, he is not going to have to cut his teeth at some G5 school. He's not going to have to cut his teeth at some mid-major. He's going to be right back in the SEC, if not next year, within 2 seasons. And that's just going to be it. That's basketball is a sport where people have a short memory of what stuff like. I mean, look, think about the people that have jobs in college basketball. Kelvin Sampson has a job. Sampson was fired from Indiana. Bruce Pearl has a job. Not only does Bruce Pearl have a job, he's got a job in the exact same league that he was run out of. For getting busted making illegal phone calls in a recruiting period and lying about a barbecue that he had at his house because he knew he was going to get in trouble over something stupid. But I'm just telling you that if Ole Miss doesn't jump first, somebody's going to make a move, because what Will Wade brings you on day one, the first day that Wade gets there, you know what you're getting. You're getting players. You're getting recruits. You're getting a roster. You're getting guys that are going to be tough matchups. I mean, went back and watched some of that game last night, Tennessee versus Vanderbilt. It was replayed on the SEC network when I had gotten home and kind of gotten into bed and just kind of put it on to fall asleep too. I mean, Julian Phillips is Tennessee's one of their top players. He's at least the one that shows the most potential of a player. He was an LSU commit for 8 months. So whenever this saga comes out and spells out and is figured out, and if what we are hearing, not only here in Baton Rouge, but in Oxford, Mississippi, they're hearing the same thing. Because once I told, the guy in the conversation that I was having with at Ole Miss, who I'd heard from and who he had heard it from, I mean, it was like, okay, man, I mean, this is, it seems like this is going to happen. And could you imagine Lane Kiffin and Will Wade on the same campus?
You can have some fun there.
I mean, that is I mean, they may not win, they may not be, but they will be getting players. I mean, and in an NIL world, all of the all of the concerns that you have for Wade are lost, right? I mean, like, well, he was paying players. Cool, you can do it legally now. I mean, what's the issue? It's not as if he was some malcontent. I mean, he wasn't doing anything to cause any ruckus in the administration or within the fan base. That guy was putting a winner on the floor every single night, going out and getting players every single recruiting cycle. I mean, who doesn't want that if you're an athletic director and responsible for getting a basketball coach? Now, Kermit Davis is the sitting head coach at Ole Miss right now. I love Kermit Davis. I think he's fantastic. It's just not working out in Oxford, and it seems as if the powers are moving on from Kermit Davis. I mean, their short list over in Oxford includes Sean Miller and Will Wade, pending Wade's innocence, which, as we said, is trending in that direction. So, once the news hits, if and when that Wade is in the clear, expect him to get a big-time job within a week. I think as soon as people understand what the consequences are around Wade, and if he, does not have a show clause, if he does not have any, poison around him that will infiltrate the program, he's getting a job day one. Because he shows up with the toughest piece in competing in college basketball. He's got players. So, Naquilis Dilwad, how bad does it make LSU look if Wade is 100% cleared? Bad. I mean, there's definitely going to have to be an explanation. I mean, I'm not saying that it breaks the program and that Scott Woodward's in jeopardy by any means. I just think that it will deserve an explanation of how did this happen? At what point did you believe that you had the smoking gun where you had to fire him when there's never been that piece of evidence that anybody could point to and say, see, I told you so. I told you he was cheating. He was writing checks out of his wife's account. That was at VCU that everybody knew about. LSU knew that when they hired him. The NCAA knew that when they were crawling up his ass 5 years ago. So that IRCPUWAB, whatever that thing, committee that the NCAA formed and then folded after Will Wade's case, the report that they gave back to Wade was all just a bunch of history. It was all a bunch of stuff that people knew about. It was all a bunch of stuff that had been reported. There was all a bunch of stuff that administrators knew and the NCAA knew, and hell, the FBI knew after all they had cleared or that they had investigated. Remember, Javonte Smart was the player at the center of all of this stuff. He missed one game. Because LSU administrators were saying if we continue to make him miss games, we might get sued because there's nothing on him. There's nothing says that he cheated. There's no cash. There's no car. There's no house. There's no bank account that's bloated now. There's nothing out there that says he did anything illegal to get here. So we got to put him back on the floor. I mean, that's I hate to rehash it, but I mean, that's all stuff that's being brought back to the forefront now in discussions that are happening in some boardroom in Dallas that, people that are on the other side of the table are saying, what can we do? How can we punish this guy? There's nothing in these files. There's nothing on these wiretaps. There's nothing that we have that shows the evidence that this went down like this. So what are we going to do? You got to clear him. I mean, what do you mean? What are you going to do? Him and Sean Miller are back in the coaching pool within a year. I mean, there were reports that Sean Miller was paying $10,000 a month to DeAndre Ayton out of his own checking account. I mean, that was, people were speaking about that publicly. He's back on people's short list. Will Wade, strong-ass offer. Okay, well, where's the offer? Where's the money? Who's the player? Who'd they pay? You can't find it? You got to clear him. I mean, what do you mean? What do you want to do? You can't do anything. You got to clear the guy. Get him back to work. So, basketball god, Jordy, are you going to blow up Dick Vitale once Wade is in the clear? Absolutely. Pat Forty, Tim Brando, Dick Vitale, all of them. The gate guarders of college basketball, Dick Vitale. He's a cheater. Oh, yeah, Dick. Rick Pitino, John Calipari, Mike Krzyzewski, all your boys in your good old boy network. All of those cats. I mean, it's an absolute joke to see the credibility lost for those guys. Vitale, Brando, 40, and crew. We got Fletcher Mackel with us here. We're going to bounce down to New Orleans and link up with him in a couple of minutes. A lot of stuff around the Saints. What's going on with Mike Thomas? Does he have a future in New Orleans? What's going on with David Carr? Are they going to sign Carr? Katie called this months ago, it feels like. But he was down in the city eating dinner with the Saints brass last night. Does that turn into a deal? We'll talk to Fletcher. Zion, when does he expect it back? Brandon Ingram has been back, and the Pelicans are fortunate for it. Lots to catch up with our good friend Fletcher Mackel next here on the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Come back with us. Donaldsonville Glass and Body, the trusted name in frame, body, and automotive paint repair since 1977. They have served their customers for over 45 years. You can find them online at dgbauto.com or stop in and see them Railroad Avenue and Division Street out in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Look, they can help you with your insurance claims. They can make the repair process as stress-free as possible. I'm speaking from experience here. I've got numerous windshields, body repair, all done by Kenny and the crew over at Donaldsonville Glass and Body. They are, without question, the most well-equipped shop in the area. Stop in and see them today. Shop them online, dgbauto.com, or stop in and see the crew over in Division Street in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Donaldsonville Glass and Body. Red Stick Sports, a local staple in Baton Rouge to all sports fans, was founded back in 1981 and has remained a family business for over 40 years. Today, they still have the great selection on the floor, but they're also a leader in custom apparel for businesses, sports teams, and other groups. Take it from us, everybody over here at FM Digital Media. They help us out with all of our apparel. Let them help you out today. Go ask for Cody over at Red Stick Sports. Check him out online at redsticksports.biz. I was embarrassed about my smile. Are you unhappy at yours? Do you not smile back at yourself? I called my friend, Dr. Spillers, over at Johnson Spillers. He fixed my smile, and now everywhere I go, people are complimenting it after the work that Dr. Spillers and the staff did to my mouth. They can do it to yours. Get in touch with them. JohnsonSpillers.com. 2 locations, one in Gonzales, one in Baton Rouge. Easy to find them, JohnsonSpillers.com.
We're all from different places and backgrounds. We've each experienced our own versions of life, but in the end, we're all on the same team. I'm part of that team, along with these players in purple and gold.
Sean Buddha, Malik Neighbors, Miles Frazier,
Kyron Lacey,
Greg Brooks.
Whether on the field or in the courtroom, your team matters.
So join our team.
make a difference.
Bet. Let's get it done.
Welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Ghost Chevrolet, live here on this Thursday. Make sure to hit a like button, share button, comment button if you don't mind. We're going down to New Orleans to talk with one of our favorites, our good friend Fletcher Mackel from WDSU. You can hit him on Twitter at Fletcher WDSU, and I expected no less. He was on David Carr Watch last night. Not only did he know that the Las Vegas Raiders quarterback was in town, he knew what restaurant they were eating dinner at. That's the only news that you can get from Fletcher Mackel's Twitter account. Fletch, good morning. How are you, buddy?
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Yeah, somebody in the restaurant industry called me last night. You know, in New Orleans, I think it's important to know where they ate.
Absolutely.
You know, in which restaurant they went to.
Tells a lot about the guy. What do we know about Derek Carr? Does he fit in? Does this deal get done if all adds up from asking price?
Yeah, I think this is going to happen. Look, the Saints have always been super aggressive. You can go back to 2006, and understanding the context and the history is important. In 2006, Mickey Loomis hired Sean Payton. They had the second pick in the draft. They were rebuilding the franchise from the ashes after Katrina. Common sense would have told you just draft the young quarterback. Draft Vince Young or draft Matt Leinart. Or there were even reports that the Saints would trade back and draft Jay Cutler, who was also a top half of the first-round guy that year and went to the Denver Broncos. The Saints didn't do it. They went right after Drew Brees and pursued him, and when Saban in Miami passed on him and didn't think his physical was good enough, the Saints signed him. If you go back to last year, the Saints were all in on Deshaun Watson. They took a PR hit right away because they flew Gail Benson, the owner, to meet with him. Dennis Allen went and met with him. They were aggressive. So I think this is an aggressive move for a team that desperately needs a quarterback. 5 guys have played quarterback. 5 different guys have started since Drew Brees retired in 2 seasons. So I think that that's their most glaring need. And look, I like Derek Carr. I'm one of these people that sees it both ways. Is Derek Carr a younger version of Andy Dalton? Maybe he is. I could also spin it and say maybe Derek Carr is a type of version of Matthew Stafford. I mean, Matthew Stafford went to the playoffs twice in 12 years in Detroit and never won a playoff game. And he got with the right team in the Rams and they won it all. So I understand what the Saints are doing. I think that Dennis Allen has a relationship with him, having drafted him when they were both with the Oakland Raiders then. I think Derek Carr is a talented guy. He's a 4-time Pro Bowler. I am afraid of the fact that he's never won. I understand the circumstances, 4 different head coaches, a bunch of different coordinators. But look, there's a reward. There's also a lot of risk. But I think the Saints have always looked at themselves as aggressive, trade up, go after what you want people. So I would be shocked if in the next week this isn't a done deal.
If they sign Carr, does that change their draft strategy that they were able to pick up a first-round pick? Do you still believe that quarterback is a high priority?
Not draft, not. I mean, if they draft Derek Carr, if they sign Derek, or trade for, because it would cost about a third-round draft pick with the reports that I heard. If they get Derek Carr, quarterback is no longer a high priority. Now, does that mean they can't draft someone like the Hainer kid out of Fresno State in the fourth round and maybe get a Brock Purdy type? They did that with Ian Book in the fourth round. So, sure, they could draft somebody like that. Or a late-round guy as a developmental prospect. But I don't think you're looking at pick 29 or 40 in Hendon Hooker or Tanner McKee out of Stanford, or using picks to trade up to try to get a guy like Anthony Richardson if he's still around in the late teens. I don't think that's – if they get Carr, he's their quarterback. Just like, again, I equate things to 06. When they got Drew Brees, a lot of people said, well, you still draft the guy at 2, right? Brees can't even lift his arm. He may never throw again. And they said, no way. Brees is our quarterback. If they trade for Derek Carr, which I still in my heart believe they're going to do this week, I think quarterback is no longer an early round selection. Let's just say maybe rounds 4, 5, 6. If there's a developmental guy they like, I could certainly see that.
What's going to happen with Mike Thomas?
Orleans again. I think that the mechanism that they used to restructure that contract, where it's very similar to what they did with Malcolm Jenkins last year, and then he eventually retired. And it's similar to what Drew Brees did 2 years ago when he retired. So I don't, talking to a lot of the capologist people that I know, that wasn't a mechanism they used to give the team in the player flexibility. Well, it was, but it was an exit strategy. So I think that Michael Thomas will be on a new NFL team, and everybody knows it. I think that they did it. They put the NFL math in place, and now they just have to execute some type of release or exit for him. But I don't think Mike Thomas will play a game again for the New Orleans Saints. They've closed. They haven't officially closed it, but they're on the last page right now. All they have to do is close the cover and move on.
Are they in a total rebuild? Where are they?
No.
Okay.
No, I mean, sorry to interrupt you. I apologize, but they're not. I mean, here's the thing. For better or worse, and we can debate it till we're blue in the face, Dennis Allen at his season-ending media conference said, I think we're closer than people think. They went in last year. Look, I'll give them credit last year. They realized the NFC South was not great. Mm-hmm. They realized Brady may be hanging on by a thread. They realized the NFC overall wasn't special. I mean, people weren't talking about the Eagles being a juggernaut. There were people talking about the Eagles last year getting Russell Wilson at this time, and is Jalen Hurts a starter? So who was the best team in the NFC? Maybe the Packers, who went the wrong way. Maybe the Bucks, who went the wrong way. I mean, maybe the Cowboys, who never became anything. So I think they read the room correctly, that the NFC was not as strong as the AFC. The NFC South is really bad. We're in. And I think they feel the same way now that, look, their defense last year closed the season with 8 straight games of holding opponents to 20 or less. Their defense came around at the end of the season. I think they feel like we're a quarterback away from being a 10-win team. And once we get into the playoffs, anything is possible. So, look, they have some holes. They got some holes at defensive line, especially on the interior. I think they could certainly use a possession receiver. What are they going to do with Andres Pete? They've got some issues to address. But I think they feel like they're still a contending team in the NFC. And look, again, we can debate that forever.
Right.
But this move going after Derek Carr clearly shows they are not a team that feels like, let's draft the rookie and slowly do what Pittsburgh did last year, hedge. Mm-hmm. Draft the young guy, sign the suspect veteran. If the suspect veteran washes out, we've got the rookie and we push the reset button for at least a season. That's what Pittsburgh did. Them being in on a 31-year-old Derek Carr who's got a $40 million salary clearly says that this is not a rebuild in New Orleans, that they feel like they're in contention.
How big of a football story is the Ryan Nielsen losing him to Atlanta, the defensive coordinator?
I think Ryan Nielsen's a really good coach, and I think that Atlanta, I like Arthur Smith in Atlanta. Terry Fontenot's a guy that we all knew very well here in New Orleans who became their general manager. I like the pieces they have. I think Ryan Nielsen's an ascending coach. I mean, obviously in Baton Rouge, he was somebody who was in demand, and they had to fight, when he was going to go to LSU, and Sean Payton blocked it. So I think it's a significant loss. I'm curious to see what he does calling his own plays as a defensive coordinator. But to answer your question, it's not as significant of a loss as people would believe. It was like when Sean Payton was here, he was the offensive coordinator. Look, Pete Carmichael's been here a long time. Joe Lombardi's a guy who was the quarterback's coach, who got a job as an offensive coordinator in Detroit, who was most recently the offensive coordinator with the Chargers. Sean Payton ran the offense. He had offensive coaches, but he was the mastermind of the offense. Dennis Allen is the defensive coordinator. Last year they promoted 2 guys to make sure they wouldn't lose those guys because they're both quality coaches, Chris Richard and Ryan Nielsen. But it's Dennis Allen's defense. So I think that Ryan Nielsen's a really good coach, and I think he could be an excellent coach, but it's still Dennis Allen's defense. So losing a good coach is never good, but it's not like, oh no, what does the defense do now? Because whether you like or hate the head coach is a really good defensive coordinator. He may not be a great head coach, and his record certainly says right now he's not, and maybe he will be, but he is a really good defensive coordinator.
Yeah, and one of the Friday news washes was that they added Todd Grantham, former Florida defensive coordinator, to the staff. So I think that's a pretty good addition as well. What do you make of Sean Payton and his new colors and his new team?
Yeah, I think people are underestimating what the Broncos can be. I like it. Look, I know Sean Payton was going to get back into coaching. I like the fact that it's in the AFC. I like the fact that it happens soon, and the ghost of Sean Payton can leave the building on Airline Drive at the Saints facility because his presence loomed large. And I think they even knew it hung over them. Replacing a legend, so to say, is always difficult. Go ask programs that have never been able to replace legendary coaches and quarterbacks. And if Dennis Allen had started out 0-2 or 0-3, people would have been pitchforks out. Go get the safety net of Sean. He's at the studio doing, commentary right now. Bring him back. Go get him. Force him back. He's under contract. All that stuff would have been prevalent. So the fact that the Sean safety net is no longer there and the ghost is gone, so to say. Again, Sean's he and Breeze are the most important figures in the history of the organization. Mm-hmm. And what he did here will never be forgotten. But I do think that chapter can close and the Saints can kind of truly move on and see what they are now under Dennis Allen is good for them. And I also think it's good for Sean. Look, Denver's a great city. The Broncos are a historically good organization, even though they haven't been in the playoffs for 7 years. And how quickly we forget that 1 year ago at this time, Russell Wilson was the most in-demand guy in the NFL. I mean, teams were throwing draft picks at the Seahawks to get him. And now everybody says he's washed, he's busted, he'll never be the same. I would say if anybody's going to turn him around and turn that place around, it's going to be Sean Payton. I don't love that he's got to play the juggernaut of the league now, the new kind of dynasty in Kansas City in Mahomes. I mean, look, they've been to 5 straight AFC championship games and 3 Super Bowls in 5 years. And Patrick Mahomes is 27 years old, and I don't think Andy Reid's retiring anytime soon. So it's like people that used to jump into the AFC East and try to knock off Brady and Belichick. Mm-hmm. I don't love that aspect, but I do think Sean Payton's a really good coach, and I still think I'm still a believer in Russell Wilson, so I think they're going to be okay in Denver.
Pels have won 3 straight. Brandon Ingram had 30 against the Hawks in the last game. They're on national TV tomorrow night versus the Cavs. I saw that you and Sharif had the report that Zion will be out for the next 3 games, including the All-Star break. Where do you see them trending here?
I'd like to say I see them trending up. Well, they are trending up. They've won 3 straight. I mean, they lost 10 straight. I think they're trending up slowly, which is fine. I do think they're not going to go on a 10-game winning streak. I wish they would. But I do think they're trending the right way. The West is just so hyper-competitive. And you look at the Suns got Durant while we were sleeping. I think the West now goes through Phoenix. When Booker gets healthy and you've got Durant, that is some offensive punch that is going to be really hard to stop. And I know Chris Paul's aging at 38, but I think he's got enough juice left for one more run. If Monty's a really good coach, Phoenix is good. I hate the Lakers, but the Lakers got better yesterday by moving Westbrook and getting some solid guys that can help them just get into the playoffs. The West is is a bloodbath hornet's nest. And look, the Pelicans have got to get a full-strength team. The good news is they haven't had their team, and they've been in first place. Yeah. They've been staying in it, and they're competitive. So once I think they get their full team, and I still think they can make a move today. I think David Griffin at the trade deadline today could be active and add another nice piece. But I think they're trending the right way. When Zion gets back, if he's the all-star player he was before he left, and Brandon Ingram is the guy we've seen the last couple of games, I think they have a chance to really ascend in the Western Conference. I still think they're deep. I still think they're talented. But man, oh man, like Durant coming to the West is just mind-blowing to me.
Fletcher, you're a longtime New Orleanian. You were from there. I trust what you say about the city. How cool has it been to cover Tulane athletics?
Probably been the best time in my professional career. I've been here 20 years, going on 21 years here at WDSU, and there's never been – I would say never. I mean, look, they had some great baseball teams that went to the World Series in 01 and 05, and that was pretty fun to cover those teams with Rick Jones and some great players. But, I mean, what they did this year, that I wasn't around for that 98 team. You know, I just started my career in 1998, and I was working in Alexandria, Louisiana, so I was following that undefeated team with Sean King from afar. But this team was special. And, I mean, look, Willie Fritz is a good dude and a great coach, and that Cotton Bowl was amazing. Ron Hunter's a fun guy to cover in basketball, and they're winning some big games. And I hope they get into the NCAA tournament for the first time since the mid-90s, 94, 95. I mean, you realize they haven't been to the NCAA tournament in that long. I mean, we're talking like 27, 28 years now. And so, yeah, and Lisa Stockton's always been really good as the women's basketball coach. But it's a fun time. Tulane's had some really bad years, and I mean really bad, embarrassing years. Right. But right now, there's a lot to celebrate uptown with the Green Wave.
There are a lot of people talking about Willie Fritz within football circles. I mean, you saw the hire that he made at defensive coordinator, Lance Guidry. He made the really good hire. Miami kind of swooped in and stole him away, but it is an attractive program that people are paying attention to. Fletcher, as always, man, it's great to see you. Great to hear from you. Happy Carnival. Enjoy yourself, and we'll talk soon.
Thanks. I appreciate that. I haven't used my setup here since great, COVID. Man. I wasn't sure it still worked, so thanks for having me.
Looks fantastic. Tell everybody hello. We'll see you soon. There he is, Fletcher Mackel from WDSU. Make sure and check him out on Twitter. He is an excellent follow to keep up with all New Orleans. At Fletcher WDSU is where you can find him. And on social media. That conversation brought to you by City Cafe. CityCafeBR.net is where you find them online. Get in touch with City Cafe today online and check out the menu, or stop in and see them at O'Neill and George O'Neill, where they've got great daily lunch specials. They also have brunch that pops up every Sunday at 10 a.m. for you over at City Cafe, where good friends meet, where good friends go to eat. City Cafe. The Carpool Queen is here. We'll be back with more of the second hour. We're going to talk to Beth Torina, LSU softball coach, as the ladies crank up their home opener tomorrow versus New Mexico. Top 20 program are the Tigers. They got 3 preseason all-conference players. We'll talk to Coach Beth about what she expects here after another offseason. Come back with us. Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet.
In a wreck, Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys is ready to go to work for you. Come meet your team.
I'm your intake specialist. I coordinate your case and connect you with your attorney and paralegal.
That's us, your legal team.
Here you go.
Thanks. And we'll fight to get you every dollar you deserve.
I'm your settlements and disbursement manager, and I'm here to get you paid on time.
I'm attorney Gordon McKernan. Put our team to work today. Just call us. Get it done.
Question in that game. You're listening to the Jordy Culotta Show live on YouTube. Catch it every day, 7 to 9 a.m., wherever you have internet access.
Oh, my guy. The host of Mac and Cube.
You said you wanted me to close it out.
I listen to his pod every day on WJOX 94. I thought I was going to beat Charlie. I didn't. You were fantastic as always. Have a great call in Missouri. I'll see you soon, man.
Thanks, man. Good
Later.
talking to you, Jordy.
Always. There he is. Cole Kubelik, the absolute best. Don't overthink it, ABC. When you move to a primetime slot and the SEC is getting that billing, make this man the color commentator. He's the absolute best.
Ooh, I mean, what a pro.
What a pro.
I remember telling them, hey, listen, my job here is to make sure that we bring, big-time football to a small-town environment, right? And so you see on movies sometimes about the way a town reacts to the football program and what it means to everybody. And that was the hopes and dreams that I had for the place. And so our kids take a distinct responsibility in wearing that Z on their helmet. It means a lot to them. And then on the flip side of that, our community does a tremendous job of supporting our program, supporting the athletic department, supporting our school as a whole. And there's really a great relationship there that's a lot of fun to be a part of.
Thank you for the access, man. Looking forward to tonight. We'll talk soon.
Coach, wait, before you go, fix your hair again one more time.
Look at him.
Let's go
Yes.
here.
Look at him.
What do you think about that?
Game day,
What do you
baby.
think about that?
Game day. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it, man. Great to see you. Thank you.
You too, guys. I appreciate it. Y'all have a great day.
All right, man. There he is. There he is. My guy. David Brewerton checking in. What does Harold Perkins do for this defense? What does he allow you guys to do?
Yeah, Perk, man, he's just so raw, man. Like, all he know how to do is make a play. But I love him. He brings a certain type of juice to the defense, and he's right alongside of me on the edge. He knows how to rush the edge. As a young guy, that's very valuable to the defense, being able to rush the edge. Making the quarterback step up. But yeah, they put him everywhere. Middle linebacker, outside rusher. Maybe sometimes he's gonna be in a drop. So he's very versatile for our defense.
And they also Welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet, live here on this Wednesday.
My facial expression now.
Remember, we're going to talk to Coach Beth Arena coming up here in a couple of minutes as the LSU softball team gets going against New Mexico. They will open up their season tomorrow at Tiger Park. Remember telling you, if you don't have weekend plans, it's a great spot, man.
It's going to be cold out there. Yes. Yeah. I mean, the rain's gone, but it's getting colder. We got a cold front coming.
Yeah.
You don't know what big weather guy? You don't know about this already?
Big weather guy.
No, I don't. And I'm supposed to be outside all weekend.
Ooh, yeah. Oof. It's going to be
in an open field.
We got football?
7-on-7 football.
Oh, God.
F3?
F3.
Where we at out here?
Zachary.
Turf field, you know.
Cold weather in an open field. Nothing worse.
Yeah. Just bust out the sleeves, Coach.
Bring your windbreaker, Jordy.
You won't be able to see anything with my eyes and my nose. I despise being cold.
Oh, my goodness.
I do too.
Like,
it makes me mad.
It pisses me off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It ruins good situations
absolutely.
for me. I'll leave. Like,
yeah.
I mean.
Oh, yeah. I'll go home.
No, I would rather be the middle of July than be cold.
Yeah.
I would rather it be 110 degrees with
Yeah.
100% humidity and...
I'd rather sweat through all my clothes.
It's so miserable, and I know, like, we complain in the summer, but still, I'm with
I
you.
do not complain in the summer.
No, I don't.
I do not complain. I do not complain about the heat because
been here all my
I
life.
always go back to the time of I'd rather it this if I had my choice.
All right.
I mean, obviously, the best weather pattern in South Louisiana is like March, April,
yeah,
middle of May. It kind of is when the humidity starts to get in here.
I feel like we get like a few good weeks of like going outside.
St.
to
Patrick's
dine.
Day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But St. Patrick's Day can be cold too.
It can
I've
be
had several
rainy.
cold ones, yes. I've had a rainy one too.
Like a spring storm type deal.
But who even cares once you're out there?
Yeah, once you get there.
Get a few drinks
the beautiful
going.
sunshine day on St. Patrick's Day is the one that you.
Yes.
Like last year.
Yeah, last year was great. Then it wasn't.
Golly.
Last year was perfect.
Still don't know how I got home.
Really?
No,
I don't think Coach Serena wants to do the video. She's dodging my question.
Okay.
But yes,
I guess y'all probably already talked about the basketball game last night, huh?
Yes.
At the hump.
Katie,
y'all covered it.
we don't want to talk
just making
about
sure.
it anymore.
Just making sure. You know, no bets were made.
Yeah.
We got to find something new to bet on.
Golly,
Jordy.
man, we would have taken the 10 too. We said LSU yesterday minus plus the 10. We would have taken the 10. They get beat by 11. Damn. Another career high game for an opponent versus the Tigers.
Yeah, that was too bad for the Tigers.
Who was that? DJ Humphreys that shot, or DJ. One of them had a career night at 5 3-pointers.
Yeah, that not Humphreys. What's his last name?
No, the Hump is the name
Hump
of
is
the Hump?
Murphy.
Yeah, I think that's right.
The Hump.
The Hump, Humphrey Coliseum. No name on that court.
It's just the Hump.
Whose name would y'all put?
If anybody noticed, there's
whose
no
name would y'all put? Richard Williams, Dick Williams. He went to the Final Four.
Dick Williams.
The Dick. From the Hump to the Dick.
That's right. That's what they should change the name to. The Dick.
The Dick.
I don't know who they would put on there.
Oh,
I mean, we have Scott
who's
Field
the most
at
famous?
Davis Wade Stadium, and those are two.
Y'all could
huge.
have the dude and
Who's
the
the
dick.
most famous basketball coach?
The dude and the Dick.
The dude, the Dick, and the Hump.
Yeah.
Go Dogs, baby.
Oh my God. I never thought about anything like that.
Who was the most famous basketball
I
coach
don't
in Mississippi
know.
State?
That's a good question. I'll have
Was
to
it
Google it.
what was that weird looking dude? Stansberry?
Yeah, I don't think he was the most famous, but he was great.
He was there forever.
He was there forever. So I guess it could be named after him. He did.
I mean,
good
Richard
things.
Williams took y'all to a Final Four.
Yeah.
But he wasn't there long.
Right. Yeah, no, Stansberry's the only one I could really
Bob
think
Boyd?
of.
Boyd was there for a long time. He was
I
like,
think it would have to be Rick. There's really, I mean, it's not going to be Ben Howland.
No.
I looked it up. Most famous Mississippi State basketball coach, Ben Howland. Ben Howland's name is up there.
maybe name recognition.
Right.
Kermit
famous.
Davis.
No. That was his dad.
Mm-hmm.
Rick Ray. I don't know who that is.
I don't know. I think it's got to be Rick Stansberry.
Saying names that are up here.
He's the one that I think would stand out to anybody, but I don't think the court's going to be named. Please, God. I'm so sick of courts being named.
Y'all should do that. It's a smooth process.
Yeah, I know.
It's
really
really easy
Yeah.
to get that done.
Fly right through.
You know?
Jeez.
I can't wait to read this chapter of the book 20 years from now if whoever writes it.
I mean,
Oh, God.
can you even imagine?
I mean,
Will they even let him write it?
Who even knows?
Statute of limitations.
How
Hopefully,
it's
it'll be
gonna turn
passed on
out.
that.
Speaking of basketball, what about all these trades?
Yeah, trade
Durant,
deadline. Brooklyn's getting out of the star. They're getting out of StarCast.
Yeah.
I think that Phoenix made the move that could push them over the top. I really
Same.
do. Only one basketball, and Devin Booker and Kevin Durant played the majority of the time with it in their hands. So I don't know how you kind of distribute those minutes or distribute those shots. It's a good problem to have when you have two of those type of scorers.
I think Chris Paul can handle that.
Chris Paul, if anybody could handle it, would be the best or one of the best point guards.
But I mean, the Nets are going to have to rebuild.
Yeah,
I mean, they went from a title contender to now rebuilding. You don't think so?
I don't think they're a title contender.
Come on.
No.
Building around
Ben Simmons.
building around Cam.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
All right, let's catch up with Coach Tarina next here on the Jordy Culotta. She'll be right back here.
She's coming now?
Driven and powered by Go Chevrolet.
All right.
Well, we're going to call her. Are you looking for sound financial advice? Then get in touch with Daniel Newman of Edward Jones. You can call him today at 225-261-8262 or email him daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. If you're planning for retirement, saving for college, for children or grandchildren, or just looking for sound investment opportunities, get in touch with Daniel today, 225-261-8262, located on Magnolia Square Drive in Central. Daniel Newman of Edward Jones.
In a wreck, Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys is ready to go to work for you. Come meet your team.
I'm your intake specialist. I coordinate your case and connect you with your attorney and paralegal.
That's us, your legal team.
Thanks.
And we'll fight to get you every dollar you deserve.
I'm your settlements and disbursement manager, and I'm here to get you paid on time.
I'm attorney Gordon McKernan. Put our team to work today. Just call us. Get it done.
Hey, Baton Rouge, when traveling through Natchez, Mississippi, whether you need to fill up your vehicle or your belly, stop by Go-Mart and On The Go Deli. Go-Mart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you might need on your trip. So stop by Go-Mart at 4 Sergeant Prentice Drive as you're entering Natchez on the left, and visit Tom and Wright Granning and their awesome team at Go-Mart.
Donaldsonville Glass and Body, the trusted name in frame, body, and automotive paint repair since 1977. They have served their customers for over 45 years. You can find them online at dgbauto.com or stop in and see them Railroad Avenue and Division Street out in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Look, they can help you with your insurance claims. They can make the repair process as stress-free as possible. I'm speaking from experience here. I've got numerous windshields, body repair, all done by Kenny and the crew over at Donaldsonville Glass and Body. They are, without question, the most well-equipped shop in the area. Stop in and see them today. Shop them online, dgbauto.com, or stop in and see the crew over in Division Street in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Donaldsonville Glass and Body. Red Stick Sports, a local staple in Baton Rouge to all sports fans, was founded back in 1981 and has remained a family business for over 40 years. Today, they still have the great selection on the floor, but they're also a leader in custom apparel for businesses, sports teams, and other groups. Take it from us, everybody over here at FM Digital Media. They help us out with all of our apparel. Let them help you out today. Go ask for Cody over at Red Stick Sports. Check him out online at redsticksports.biz. I was embarrassed about my smile. Are you unhappy at yours? Do you not smile back at yourself? I called my friend, Dr. Spillers, over at Johnson Spillers. He fixed my smile, and now everywhere I go, people are complimenting it after the work that Dr. Spillers and the staff did to my mouth. They can do it to yours. Get in touch with them. JohnsonSpillers.com. 2 locations, one in Gonzales, one in Baton Rouge. Easy to find them, JohnsonSpillers.com.
We're all from different places and backgrounds. We've each experienced our own versions of life, but in the end, we're all on the same team. I'm part of that team, along with these players in purple and gold.
Kayshawn Buddha, Malik Neighbors, Miles Frazier,
Kyron Lacy,
Greg Brooks.
Whether on the field or in the courtroom, your team matters.
So join our team.
make a difference.
Bet. Let's get it done.
All right, welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Great weekend down here in South Louisiana is always the one of opening of softball season. The Tigers are doing their regular. They're hosting their annual LSU Invitational, as that'll start on Friday. Coach Beth Torina, entering her 12th season, has got a star-studded team coming back with 13 players returning, including 7 starters from last year, as we will talk all about her squad with one of our favorites, Coach Beth Torina, coming up here as we invite her into the conversation on this Thursday morning. Coach, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Good to be here. I saw great halftime entertainment at the Tennessee LSU women's basketball game as a young Torina was running the floor. I saw Haley McCormick out there. A star-studded cast. That had to be cool for the kids.
I think that might be the biggest crowd they'll ever play in front of their entire life.
Unreal.
Their whole life, right? Haley McCormick's quite an athlete, quite a basketball player. We're lucky to have her on the team.
Yes.
So, and Annie Shawberry, too. There's a bunch of them. They're great athletes. So, but it was a lot of fun. I think I got more feedback from Tatum Torina than anything the softball team's ever done.
That was awesome, man. I saw you down there with your camera. I thought, how cool of a moment this is for those kids. And then, obviously, as you know, Jesse is a good friend, and he said that Haley, her eyes were so wide all night, just 15,000 people cheering at every shot that those kids were made. They'll remember that for the rest of their life. How about your squad? You've got a star-studded squad, too, a veteran squad coming back with some accolades going into the season. How do you feel about this crew coming off of another offseason?
Yeah, we're excited. We're really excited. I think we have an experienced group and a group that's just the right people at the right time. You know, it's the right combination of old ones and young ones that are super talented. And so we're just really excited. They like each other. They get along. We've seen all kinds of photos off the field of them as a whole group together, not just 5 here or 6 there. It's all 22 of them everywhere they go. It's been a lot of fun, and it's a great group. We're excited to see what they're going to do.
You got 3 on the all-conference preseason team, including Sierra Briggs, coach, who was a Golden Glove defender for you last year. What's your expectations for her coming into another season?
Yeah, you got all your flash there behind you, but you see the gold glove back there behind me on the shelf? That's how we do it around here. That's our flash. It's pretty incredible what she is capable of. She is such a special player, and she does so much for our team, not just with what she does, you know, in the stat line, but she challenges us every day. She makes us better. She makes practice fun. She makes like shagging BP a challenge and makes it fun. So she's just a great leader for us, and just a great member of this team.
And then how do you feel about your group in the circle? I know you're headlined by Allie, but how do you feel about the crew behind her?
I can't wait for everybody to see these young arms. I think Raylan Chafin, being a year older, will be a great starter for us. And then these young arms with Sydney Berzon, Ailey Johnson, Emma Stroud, Emily Casanova is coming on this year too. So I think everybody's going to really, really be big fans of these young arms we have for a long time.
We've talked all about how the new ways of college sports has affected, whether it's the football, basketball. How does it affect softball? How has it been adjusting to NIL and transfer portal and all of the new things that you can recruit with?
Well, I think we did well in the transfer portal this year. I love the 2 kids we added. Hannah Carson, who's a 5th-year catcher from Michigan, a grad transfer. I looked it up the other day. She has over 400 college at-bats. Wow. So she's got a ton of experience and brings so much to us. And then Carly Petty from Oklahoma State. She's been in the World Series a couple times. She's a grad too, but with 2 years of eligibility. So she hit 2 home runs in her first fall game that she ever played with us. So, I think we've done well with those two.
Absolutely. Coach, it's a great weekend, this weekend coming up always, annually. You good over there?
I can't tell you what's happening. I'll get in trouble. No.
Oh, okay. I got it. I think she brought her dog to work. It's all good.
While we're talking. There you go.
Oh, yeah, okay. All right.
So cute.
I can't tell anyone, though. Now we're on here and everyone's going to know. I'm going to be in trouble.
Yes. Don't worry. Nobody watches our show. Coach, how cool is this weekend? I've been to it. It's great for look, Tiger Park is it's a great place to bring the family. But the opening weekend always kind of has a special push to it. You'll open it up Friday versus New Mexico. What do you anticipate?
Yeah, we're excited. I think it's a great field to start with. New Mexico's got a new coach who's done a lot of good things in her time. Came from SFA, did a lot of good things there. And then Oregon State, who is a World Series team from last year. So we're going to be tested right off the bat, and then Nichols on Sunday. So, getting our local flair there too. But I think we'll be tested right off the bat here. We're going to find out a lot about us. And honestly, we need it. We need to see something other than purple. Our kids are ready. They would have taken the field yesterday in the downpour if you told them they could. They're ready to go. So they're excited.
Back in the top 20 again, as you do every year with the consistency. But then, Coach, you look around, and the rest of the league is in the top 20. What do you make of the conference?
Yeah, it's awesome every year. Always strong. We're proud to be a part of it. But I love the schedule that we have this year, too, just parity throughout the country. Mm-hmm. And we're seeing a bunch of different conferences. We get Michigan and Minnesota out in California. We get Utah and Oregon State here at home. We get Oklahoma, ULL. We get a ton of good competition from all over the country, from all different conferences. So I think it's a really solid schedule top to bottom.
This is probably an exciting time of the year for you, right? This is the 12th time you're doing this in purple and gold, but I'd imagine this part of the year never gets old, just kind of getting everybody back together and getting on the field again.
Definitely. But this one brings a different level of excitement. I feel this is a team we've, talked about having for quite some time. This is the last class of the early signees. So we've known how talented our freshmen are for, 5-6 years here. We've known what we've got with, Taylor Pleasance, Danica Coffey breaks that class, and then getting to add the COVID year, getting, the young kids were never supposed to play with Georgia Clark and Allie Kilponen, but getting them all together is really just an incredible opportunity.
Woodward just emailed and said, "Send Tarina to my office after the interview." So good luck on that walk.
And don't do it every day.
That's right.
One-time thing,
This was the first time.
No, it's not the first time, but I don't do it all the time. There's a special occasion.
Coach, one more on your defense. Obviously, everybody's talking about Sierra and the Gold Glove, but your infield in particular, Georgia Clark and Coffey, you've got some really good depth in that infield as well, right?
We do. I think, Taylor Pleasance is in a league of her own shortstops in the country, in my opinion. Danica Coffey's worked so hard to improve her defensive game, and she's done it. We were taking defense yesterday, and I said to Howard, I'm like, when have you seen a third baseman that's that fast? Like, when have you seen a third baseman with the foot speed that Danica Coffey has? She does some really cool things over there that are different than the other third baseman around. And Georgia Clark is just a mainstay for us. She is like the field general. She just keeps us going straight. And she's worked really hard on the defensive side of her game. Everybody knows her as a hitter. And then we're adding Carly Petty to that group. So that should be fun. I like the infield. I think they're really strong.
Great to see you as always. We will be out at Tiger Park this weekend. Stay warm and have a great start to the season.
Can you show us the dog one more time? Everyone's begging to see.
I kicked him out.
You're already in trouble.
Right.
I kicked him out. I have to go. You want me to find him?
Yeah, for sure.
Everybody's
for sure.
begging to see him. He's
What's
adorable.
his name?
His name is Pickle.
Pickle. That's so cute.
Pickle.
Oh my
Because
goodness.
he gets in a lot of pickles. It's a softball name, right?
how
You're
old
getting
is he?
a rundown and a pickle. He's a baby. That's
I know.
why
I see
he gets
it.
special treatment.
Pickle.
So
Goodness.
You've gotten a lot of people in
Lord, I'm
trouble
in
today,
trouble.
Pickle.
I'm in trouble. He
It's
was really
worth
going to
it.
pull this turn out.
All right, Coach. Great seeing you. Best of luck.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right,
Appreciate you guys.
We'll talk again soon.
Okay.
Thank you. There she is, Coach Beth Torina checking in. Remember, we're brought to you by RMB Builders, Rhett Bourgeois and the crew. RMB-builders.com. They're on Instagram as well. Remember, we told you we're managing the Instagram over here at FM. Get in touch with RMB on Instagram. They got great social media over there, keeping up with all the latest with the projects, construction, all that's going on with RMB. We'll be back and close it out here. Driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Are you looking for sound financial advice? Then get in touch with Daniel Newman of Edward Jones. You can call him today at 225-261-8262 or email him daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. If you're planning for retirement, saving for college, for children or grandchildren, or just looking for sound investment opportunities, get in touch with Daniel today, 225-261-8262, located on Magnolia Square Drive in Central. Daniel Newman of Edward Jones.
In a wreck, Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys is ready to go to work for you. Come meet your team.
I'm your intake specialist. I coordinate your case and connect you with your attorney and paralegal.
That's us, your legal team.
Here you go.
Thanks. And we'll fight to get you every dollar you deserve.
I'm your settlements and disbursement manager, and I'm here to get you paid on time.
I'm attorney Gordon McKernan. Put our team to work today. Just call us. Get it done.
Hey, Baton Rouge, when traveling through Natchez, Mississippi, whether you need to fill up your vehicle or your belly, stop by Go-Mart and On The Go Deli. Go-Mart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you might need on your trip. So stop by Go-Mart at 4 Sergeant Prentice Drive as you're entering Natchez on the left, and visit Tom and Wright Granning and their awesome team at Go-Mart.
All right, welcome back here as we close it out here on this Thursday. Make sure that you are following all of the shows. Subscribe, like, if you don't mind. Nick Diaz and Out of My League coming up this afternoon at 3 o'clock. If you want more information and talk about LSU, make sure and get over to Nick Diaz at 3 o'clock this afternoon with Out of My League. Appreciate Coach Beth Torina for stopping by here.
And Pickle.
And Pickle. Katie, you should have invited Pickle to Furball.
I'm going to invite them to Furball 100%.
Are you on the board?
What?
Are you on the board?
No, I'm on the court.
On the court?
Yeah.
What's the difference?
The board is who chairs the whole thing and puts it together, in the court, I'll be on the stage with Rose, walking the runway and raising money.
So they'll be walking dogs all night.
I can see you, I can see your cringy eyes over there from here. It's different. It's so much fun. It's just a huge party with dogs. So and it raises money for the animal shelter, which is unbelievable. Y'all will all be seeing me posting about this on my Instagram soon and begging all of you for money
Katie,
to help fundraise.
Are you one of those people that dresses their dogs?
No.
Oh,
I put
dresses
them in,
the goat.
I do. I put Henry in fleeces if it's really cold.
Oh, man.
I put them in collars, depending on the holiday, but that's as far as I go. Right now they're wearing Valentine collars.
Oh.
What?
See, that's weird to me.
That is not weird.
People who put stuff on their dogs are weird.
I don't dress the dogs or do their hair and stuff.
You still themed with your dog.
I do themed with their collars. It's not weird.
I don't theme my kid.
I wanted to tell y'all, you know how yesterday we were talking about the Aaron Rodgers darkness thing? So The Athletic did a poll, because remember I asked y'all if y'all thought he was just starved for attention or if this is legit. They put out a poll asking people those questions, and 92% of everyone that voted said they think he's attention starved.
I think that, at this point it's non-debatable.
Yeah.
I mean, it's become so obvious. Like we said yesterday, you don't have to tell anybody that.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, you got enough. You could just slide off the grid for 5 days and go hang out in the darkness and nobody would ever know. Yeah.
And doesn't it seem very personal too?
I would think so.
He knows a lot of people watch McAfee. I'm
oh,
yeah. And he also knows that he's gotten to a point that people grip to what he says.
Yeah.
Right.
His ayahuasca tour last summer was that was the lead story of people introducing him in the divisional round I mean, like, fresh off of ayahuasca, Rodgers bounced again. It's like, I mean, what's next year's storyline going to be? I guess he still can't see.
Too many Percocets.
He must be in the dark.
Too many Percocets.
Rodgers playing like he's shelled up in that cabin in the darkness for 4 days. I mean, like,
He's going to go sit on the bench.
Just like, yeah, right. Aaron wishing he was back in a dark room. Like, Aaron, you don't have to tell us that, bro.
Yeah, bro, you just go.
Like, I mean, you don't have to just
take your 5 days.
But I can't wait to see what happens when he comes out. Because we might be going on a darkness
What if
retreat
he
after
comes
that.
out and says, I'm Nicolas Cage now?
Well, then we won't be going on a darkness retreat. But if he comes
Prove
out
it.
and has clarity.
Buy that dinosaur.
I might do it. Like a 2-day one, like Jordy said.
Katie.
If he
4
really comes
days
out
is
and he's
too
like
much.
this.
Are you going to get the slot
food
for the
slot?
food
Yeah,
slot?
I don't know who's going to push the food through.
David.
But
The death row lunch sentence.
somebody can just pour some peanut M&Ms through. I'll be fine.
Just put your hands out.
Yes. Like a dispenser 3 times a day. I can survive on peanut M&Ms.
I mean, I can see Aaron Rodgers having like a reality show after he.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
for sure.
100%.
The life of Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, absolutely.
He has to.
I mean,
it has to have his name on it.
Yes.
I wish Jay Cutler was still back in the reality game.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I mean, he was as good a television that's ever been produced.
I know.
Jay Cutler's just.
It's just like.
Who did he date? Kristen Cavallari?
Yeah, he was married to her.
That's right. They were
Is
married.
that the
Because that
one?
was the
Because
show
he
was
dated-
the show was around her.
Yes.
But he was the star.
Is that the one he made?
He'd
pay
go
him?
hang out. He'd go hang out in their clothing boutique like all day and like just make fun of everybody.
He'd just be a
and-
dick to
yeah,
everybody.
Just be a dick at
And
everybody.
she would tell him, she was like, "You're such a dick.
He was like,
Everyone
I know.
is scared of you."
Yeah, I know. And what do
I'm
you
proud
mean?
of it.
Yeah, I've been like this since I was a kid.
Yeah,
She
this is
dated
me.
a player before. Was it Matt?
Liner?
Yeah, I think she dated him before she married.
Is that the one that has kids from Matt
Cleat
Liner?
chaser.
Who?
Uh-uh.
Oh no. She doesn't have kids. I don't know who has kids.
There's one Hollywood chick that has kids for like Matt Liner and Blake Griffin.
Oh,
Damn.
Yeah.
I don't know that.
Child
is.
support is up to like $2 million.
Golly.
Nice.
What an investment.
I
Nice
know.
payday.
She's a smart lady.
That's awesome. Yeah, Aaron should have his own show. He
The Aaron
will.
Rodgers show.
He
Or
will.
the Aaron
Yeah, he
Rodgers
will.
experience.
Him and
The Aaron
McAfee will
Rodgers
probably spend
experience.
something into
Oh my God.
a multi-billion-dollar media empire.
Get to do
Yes.
ayahuasca with
Yeah,
him.
right.
Yes.
Yeah, he'll probably be doing that trip live next year.
Yeah.
As soon as he gets out of football.
I mean, that's
Document
stealing.
it. Put it on Vice.
Stealing for him.
I mean,
Right.
he can't be like, he's not going to get a contract with any
Oh.
station.
You didn't
right?
need one.
I mean, but he's not, like, nobody
No,
wants
no.
to listen to
He's
him
not, like,
announce
TV
games
worthy,
or anything.
no.
Yeah, he's not going to be doing
No,
TV.
I don't think he doesn't want to be that buttoned up.
Right.
No.
I mean, did you see Jake Plummer yesterday at NFL Radio Row?
Oh my gosh.
I mean, this dude looks straight off of a hippie tour in San Francisco in the 60s. I mean, this dude has
Why?
got Look, I mean, I'm going to show you I'm going to send you the link here, Stewie, of what
He's a mushroom farmer now.
No, he's
no
not.
doubt about it.
No, like I'm
no
literally
doubt about it. I mean, like
CBS
I did not
mushroom
know that.
farmer?
I did not know that, but I absolutely believe that.
Well, like a food grade
From
mushroom farmer? Or
Absolutely not. A
CBS
psychedelic.
News. This is CBS News from NFL quarterback to mushroom farmer.
Okay.
Jake Plummer's journey from the gridiron to the fields of Fort Lupton. So
Okay.
Stewie, go to a Twitter account at Mike KLIS. Mike and then KLIS. Kliss. Mike Kliss.
I don't know, Jordy.
That sounded
Okay.
dangerous. That sounded
Okay.
dangerous. That sounded dangerous.
Mike Kliss. Don't say it fast.
Do you see?
Oh my God.
Bring that.
Put it
bring
up.
that
I mean,
up.
he
dude.
looks like
This
the-
is Jake Plummer,
He looks like the
former
hatchet boy.
Arizona State, Denver Bronco quarterback. Was an NFL starter. I want to say he was a first round pick.
Yeah, I think he was.
Jake the Snake.
That's what my brother calls me.
I mean, like Jake now looks like the dude.
Oh
bruh?
my gosh.
I mean,
You're kidding
look
me
at
right
Jake
now.
Plummer. Are you have the volume on?
Yeah, hold on.
Well, hopefully leadership will allow them to take control this year, and I'm excited.
I see that.
He played for the Broncos.
I
He
see
lives in
that.
Denver. He manages a mushroom farm and smokes a just colossal amount of marijuana.
crazy knowledge that Sean Payton's bringing to us, and now we're going to be successful. Like, who are the leaders on this team that are demanding a different level of commitment and passion and dedication to work during the offseason, but also have some fun. Have some fun and bond as a team. So I love Coach Payton. I think he's a brilliant offensive mind, a great football coach. And I think he'll build a great staff, and hopefully, like I said, put a little more impetus and ownership back onto the players, because we see coaches.
All right, have a great Thursday out there. Make sure and hit the like button, share button, comment button. As we'll be back with you tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Remember, stick around for Nick Diaz and Out of My League coming up 3 o'clock this afternoon. Follow us on social media. As whoa, who's that?
Who is that?
Oh, is that Fletcher? Oh, that was Jake Plummer.
He must have clicked back into
That's
it.
awesome.
We'll be back with you tomorrow morning, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. I thought that was Jake Plummer.
Just gonna end the show on that one.